So ICE is now deporting U.S. citizens, y'all.
A 25-year-old U.S. citizen was deported to Mexico after a traffic stop in Texas. His name is Brian Morales. He was born in Denver, Colorado in 2001, and shortly after turning 1, his family moved to Mexico, so he doesn't speak any English. Recently, he came back to the United States using his birth certificate and other documents. On April 3rd, 2026, while on his way to work, the vehicle that he was riding in was pulled over by law enforcement near Fredericksburg, Texas. When he couldn't provide an ID, officers turned him over to Border Patrol. He tried to explain to several agents that he had a birth certificate and social security card back at home, that he could get them a picture. Instead, they refused to listen and they laughed at him. He claims that he was threatened with years of imprisonment if he didn't sign paperwork agreeing to his removal. Eventually, he signed because he was afraid of going years without seeing his daughter. On April 7th, just a few days later, he was deported to a region in Mexico he had never been to. His family believes that he is a victim of racial profiling and coercion.
His family is absolutely right, and ICE is not going to stop until enough of us say they must. Please keep calling your representatives and tell them to rein in this absolutely lawless agency that is flagrantly violating the Constitution and deporting U.S. citizens. Oh, and don't forget that right now Republicans are working on a bill to give them $70 billion more dollars, which they're going to pay for by cutting our health care more. You can't make this stuff up.
This is not justified.
Federico Arellano wants to be reunited with his family. His newborn twin girls, their 2 siblings, and their mother were deported to Mexico.
Yo quiero mi familia. Estoy solo otra vez.
I want my family. I'm alone, Arellano says. He's a U.S. citizen born here in Houston, married in 2019. His attorney says this year he and his wife, who was born in Mexico, tried to go through the immigration system on their own.
The reason she was arrested, they were told, is that she failed to go to an immigration hearing.
Arellano says they contacted immigration to postpone because his wife was recovering after the twins were born prematurely via emergency C-section. He says over the phone, they were told their hearing would be postponed. Last week, they were called in, and that's when Arellano says they were separated by ICE. His family flown out of Bush Airport and sent to Mexico.
Quiero hacer todas las cosas legales.
I want to do everything legally. I want them here with me, he says.
This case shouldn't have gone to this extreme. There were options, legal options that were available, and he was not given those.
U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement deported a mother and her 4 children, including newborn twins, from Texas to Reynosa, Mexico earlier this month. Cristina Salazar is 23 years old. She was born in Mexico and married her husband, who is a U.S. citizen, in 2019. She and her kids were taken into custody on December 11th. Salazar's husband, Federico Arellano Jr., says he's fighting to get his family back. His wife and 2 older children were awaiting immigration hearings, and that Salazar missed a hearing just a few weeks after having an emergency cesarean section to deliver their twins. Federico says they called the immigration court to let them know that she was recovering from surgery and that the hearing would be rescheduled. Immigration authorities then called the family and told them to meet at a location to discuss their case, when Salazar and all 4 of her children were arrested. The twins are U.S. citizens since they were born.
Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ivan, aka Rayo de Yucatan. And for those of you who do know me, hello. I just wanted to come on here, guys, because today does mark a year of me being deported after living in the States for 36 years. That's something that, I never knew would happen, but it did. It did, unfortunately. But, it wasn't unfortunately because I knew what I was doing was wrong, guys. My situation is different than other people. I didn't self-deport. I got deported based on my actions, guys. Nobody did it to me but myself. I've taken accountability. I will always do that. Now, what does that do? That brings a lot of things. Accountability is hard, man. Me being deported the first couple months, guys, was hard for me. I cried. I yelled. I was mad at myself for everything that I had done, that I had put my wife and kids through. But over the year, guys, I've learned to deal with those things. I've learned to accept that, we are going to fall short. We are going to fail, but it's how we get up from it. And ever since I kind of got my mind situated and what I need to accomplish here in Mexico, I've been on a mission. I've been on a mission, and that mission is to be reunited with my family, and nobody or nothing will get me away from there. I thank God every day because God has given me a new outlook on life. You know, I was glad enough to realize it at 38 years old. But this video is mostly directed to, to my wife and my kids. My beautiful wife, my Juice, my Cesar, my Beans, and my Cabucho. They've been with me through thick and thin, and they continue to be with me. But Mexico has shown me in the last year, man, it has humbled me so much. It's humbled me so much because I was used to comfort, commodities, all that stuff. But that stuff doesn't mean nothing to me now. It doesn't. It's been hard in the fact that being away from my family. Anything else, guys, like I've told you guys, I think I could deal with it. I could take it on, hey. But what this past year, this past year in Mexico has made me into a man where I feel like, you know what? God is putting me for a lot of things for a reason. He's putting me through these things, even though I caused it. But now I look at it like whatever comes my way, man, I got this. Me and my wife got this. It's hard to accept the consequences of your actions. That's the hardest thing I've had to deal with. And I deal with it every day. Waking up, not being close to them. It's hard. It's hard. But I love Mexico because even though I was born here, I didn't grow up here. But it's taught me so much in the last year, man. It's taught me that there is good people out there. There is beautiful people. And every day I pray to be a better husband, better father, better son, better friend, better person overall. That's what I strive to be. I don't strive to have the best car. I don't strive to have the nicest things. But I still got a long road ahead of me. But I know what our end goal is here in Mexico. I just feel the hardest thing for me is being away from my family. It's not something you get over overnight. I still miss them as much as the first day. That's something that just keeps building in me. I can't let them go. And that's what I'm fighting from. But Mexico has taught me how to be resilient, how to be brave, how to know what I want out of life. And I don't mean materialistic things. Family, spiritualness, like peace, happiness. That's what I refer to. Now, don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean I don't want a nice car, a nice home. But I just wanted to share that with you guys right now, and kind of just tell people, actions have consequences. Don't run away from them. If you know what you're doing, just make sure you stand on it. I say always practice what you preach. And that's one thing I will live on. But, I just wanted to make a quick message. And, it's very emotional every day for me. It really is. I know I'm always happy and bubbly and stuff, but it's hard. It's hard. But I just wanted to come on here and just say, thank y'all for following me and my wife and my kids in this journey. We got a lot ahead to show you guys that it can be done. If anybody needs help, reach out to us. Shoot, I'm still going through it, but I know I will make it. Me and my wife will make it. We got a lot of goals to achieve still. We got a lot of goals, and it's not time for us to end this. No, man. But babe, I love you, mi amor. To my kids, I'm gonna show y'all. Your dad loves y'all, no matter what. But I appreciate y'all, guys. I want to talk about a quick recap today. Mexico, we got this, guys. Have a great night.
So earlier I made a video talking about my situation here. I'm in Mexico right now. Grateful that I'm in Cancun. I'm here with my dad and shit. And I just wanted to document my experience, I was deported from the United States after living in the United States for 22 years. I'm a Cuban national. I was born in Cuba. I migrated to this country when I was 6. I migrated to the United States when I was 6 years old with my mom and my sister. And I had a legal permanent residency. And well, I obviously lost all of that. I lost all of that 5 years ago when I got deported right when Trump was ending his presidency. I got a deportation letter, an order of removal. But back then, the situation with Cubans was different. They were removing Cuba. They weren't deporting Cubans. They were just giving them an order of removal, and we were getting released on supervision. But now it's different. Now they're sending people to third countries. and I was one of the first. Well, I've been looking online and on TikTok and stuff, and I see a lot of lawyers talking about this, and they say that there's been like 200 Cubans that have been sent to Mexico, and well, I'm one of those lucky 200 right now. I mean, I bet that there's a lot more to come, and I just wanted to document my experience. I've been here for probably 4 days now. I entered this country on Thursday, and today is it's Wednesday. So I wanted to I'm gonna make a lot of videos about this. I want to talk about my experience in immigration prior to coming here. I'm gonna talk about the paperwork that they gave me or that they didn't give me, the ability to call. I'm gonna make videos in English and I'm gonna make some videos in Spanish. So yeah, I don't want to bore you guys. So just hang on for my next video.
And on Tuesday, we witnessed buses of Mexican nationals deported back to Mexico. It's the first deportation.
I looked at him and said, then I guess we have to leave because there's no reason for me to stay here.
Francisco Hernandez Corona and his husband Irving self-deporting to Puerto Vallarta on Mexico's west coast after weeks, they say, of living in fear in the U.S. Francisco was sent through the desert by his father when he was just 10 years old to cross over illegally. He finished school and got accepted to Harvard, where he graduated in 2013.
When I graduated at Harvard, the biggest thing was, how am I even going to do anything with this?
He was able to apply for DACA, First Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals under President Obama, and then he filed for something called the VAWA visa for women and children abuse victims. It allowed him to work and thrive in the U.S. Then the reality of the new administration and President Trump's immigration policies started to set in.
Because of the choice that my dad made when I was a child, U.S. law says it doesn't matter. I don't care that you didn't choose this. You can no longer stay in a place that you call home.
3 weeks ago, they came here to Puerto Vallarta. And for Francisco, he not only misses his sisters, nephews, nieces, and friends in the U.S., he worries that he failed to fulfill what his dying mother told him.
She said, I will die here so that you and your sisters can have a better life.
Imagine spending your entire life in America, going to American schools, building friendships, careers, and families. Then one day you are told that none of that matters. You are placed on a plane and sent to a country you barely know. For a growing number of people, this is not apathetical, and why these stories continue to divide public opinion across America. So when most people hear the word deportation, they often picture someone who recently crossed the border. But many deportation cases involve people who have lived in the United States for years, even decades. Some arrived as children, others have little memory of the country they are being sent to. Their education happened in America, their social circles are in America, and in many cases, the immediate family members remain in America. So this is why these stories often generate strong reactions from both sides of the immigration debate. Imagine landing in a country where you have no job waiting for you, no established support system, no home, and sometimes limited knowledge of local customs or even opportunities. Many deportees describe the experience as starting life over from zero. Even simple tasks become difficult. Finding housing, finding work, learning how systems operate, building a new social network. The challenge is not just financial, it is emotional. Many people suddenly find themselves separated from parents, spouses, children, and lifelong friends. That separation can be one of the hardest parts of the process. Supporters of stricter immigration enforcement say that immigration law exists for a reason. They believe that law should be applied consistently regardless of how long someone has been in the country. From this perspective, enforcement is necessary to maintain the integrity of the immigration system. Others see the issue differently. They argue that when someone has spent most of their years in America, the connection to the country goes beyond legal paperwork. They point to family ties, community involvement, and years of contribution as factors that deserve consideration. This difference in perspective is why deportation remains one of the most controversial topics in modern politics. The discussion often goes far beyond immigration. It touches on identity, family, and national priorities. So for many people, the biggest challenges begins after the flight lands. Some eventually adapt and build successful lives. Others struggle for years. There are stories of individuals who started businesses, found new opportunities, and rebuilt their futures. There are also stories of people who continue to feel disconnected from the country they were sent to. What makes these stories so powerful is the contrast. A person may have spent decades believing that America was home, then suddenly everything changes. So, whether someone agrees or disagrees with immigration policy, it is difficult to ignore the human impact involved. Every deportation story affects real families and real communities. And as immigration continues to dominate political discussions, stories like these are likely to become even more common. The question many people are asking is simple: what should matter most? The law, the amount of time someone has lived in a country, family connections, or some combination of all the three? There are strong opinions on every side of this debate. But one thing is clear. For people who grew up in America and later faced deportation, the experience can completely transform the course of their lives. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think growing up in a country should play a role in deportation decisions? Or should immigration be enforced the same way regardless of personal circumstances? Share your thoughts in the comment section below, and kindly remember to keep it respectful. And if you love breakdowns like this, kindly hit the subscribe button and join our family. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.